Good morning. My name is Belinda and welcome to Belinda's Baubles. This is a knitting, crochet, crafting, whatever I want to get up to podcast. And welcome everybody. If you're new, I appreciate you coming and trying this out. If you're old, thank you so much for sticking with me. This is episode 6, so I have been at this for 6 months now. Tell you a little bit about myself because I think I might have a few new viewers just from the fact that I did go to the DFW Fiber Fest recently, and more about that at the end. I live in Fort Worth, Texas with my husband, our son who is in college, and our 3 chihuahuas. I feel like at times that we run a dog retirement home because our 3 chihuahuas are aged 10, 14, and 16. Right now they are asleep, so I'm hoping to have a nice quiet time to be able to record so that we can get through this. I didn't get my September recording done. It was just a month and a half. And I apologize for that. So this is basically my September recording, even though today is October 2nd. So, what to tell you? I've got so much on my mind to get through, and it's just, everything is running. Where to find me? You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, email, and on Ko-fi. I'm under Belinda's Baubles on Instagram, Ravelry, belindasbaubles@gmail.com for email. And also you can find me under Belinda's Baubles in Ko-fi, and all the links are down below. So let's get started. Today I have one finished object. I've been working on several things, but I got one done. And it's the Summer Secret Crop, which I have on. And I am going to be making a whole bunch more of these, I believe. I really love this. It's by Jessie May Designs. It's a free pattern. And I have a link to my Ravelry page down below, so you can go take a look at it. Now, one of the things that I did with this, excuse me while I pull up my page over here with my notes. I made this out of Queensland Collection Brighton Beach. And I used about 2 1/4 skeins, I guess it ended up being. Reason being is I held it double so that it was a DK version because I wanted a lot of coverage. And I didn't know, and I did the extra because of the fact that this is a linen cotton blend. And I knew the linen was not going to stretch, and this was my first time working with linen. So I really wanted to make sure I had plenty. I think I've washed this thing already 3 times. It's been done for only about 3 weeks, and I'm wearing it every single week. It's comfortable, and I wanted to test out the linen and cotton. It keeps me warm when I'm cold, and it doesn't make me feel too hot if the temperature's hot outside, which here in Texas, yes, it's October. Yes, it's fall most of the country. But what I'm seeing online and what I agree with is a term that really does apply to Texas. It's hotum here because it's still 90 degrees outside, which is, I guess, would be in Celsius would be around 35, 36. So at least it's no longer in the 100s at the moment. And we're supposed to get some rain this week, and it's supposed to cool off. So I'm really praying that happens. And this is a free pattern, as I said, and I love these straps. I made them wider than what it called for, and I kind of worked on placement and everything for them when doing my decreases to cover my bra, because that was important to me. But these are basically I-cord straps, and they don't stretch out real bad, at least not in the linen cotton blend. And they hold everything up, and as you're wearing it, it doesn't start slipping down. And I really do love that. What else? This is, the colorway. Sorry, for the Queensland Collection Brighton Beach. As I said, this is colorway 13, which is Mandorian Dragonette. I need to get another stand or something so I can have my computer closer to me, but it is what it is right now, so I just have it on the bed. And I did make this in size extra large, and I'm trying to think of how many sizes there were for this pattern. Let's see here. I take that back. This is actually size large. I cast on the extra large and it was too big. So I went down to the size large, because normally in everything, the extra large fits me best. So all my notes are over on Ravelry so that you'd be able to see my journey with it. And let's see here. This is a very size inclusive pattern. It goes from size extra, extra small, which is a bust measurement 24 to 26, all the way up to a 5XL, which is a 60-62 inch bust. It calls for fingering weight yarn, but it gives information on doing it DK. And I wanted it DK because I just wanted a little bit more coverage on this first one. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to do my next one in fingering weight yarn. And it'll be in wool, so that I can kind of see how that does as a layering piece for the winter. I think it's going to work out really good for here in Texas to be able to just add a sweater or jacket over top of. Okay, so that's it for my finished objects. Really, that's all I got. That is all I got done in this amount of time, and it's been about 5-6 weeks since I talked to y'all last in this manner. So what have I been doing? I've been casting things on. I felt that I really didn't have that many things in the works. So what did I do? I cast a bunch of things on. So now between active and inactive in the works items, I have about 10. Yeah, I usually feel most comfortable with 4 or 5. So what have I done? I've gone outside my comfort zone, and I have not even done a cast on party, but I've still cast a bunch of stuff on. Okay, so for new items or new construction, I have my twisty staircase socks. You know, it's October, it's fall. I was pretending it was fall back in September, and I've been jumping on the bandwagon for a few make-alongs. If you want to see the make-alongs that I'm participating in, I have them listed down below. But let's see, let's dig around over here. Bear with me a second. I knew I had it. So these are the Twisty Staircase Socks by Dana Ray Makers. And I won this pattern from Mandy at Mouse's Makes. And I wanted a spooky type of pattern to go along with the spooky feet mal that's being run by Alex with My Yarny Corner. Here we go. I am using Lane's de Nord paint socks. Go. And this is color 30. To me, it looked fall. So that's what I wanted, with some fall colors. And twisty staircases are kind of spooky to me, especially if it's a little on the dark side. So here's my, the browns and everything through here make it kind of spooky to me. I am already working on my second sock. So they're not real tall, but they're not real short either. Let me show you this pattern. See if I can get you. Here we go. It really does work up beautifully, and she made it to where it would work with striped socks. And I'm using just a standard slip stitch heel toe and heel gusset. And then the toes I'm using are my favorite ones from KF Jones, which is the umbrella toe. I love the way that it finishes up and how it feels. So I am 1 1/3 way through a pair of socks, which is pretty good for me. And I am making those on, double check myself, these are on the size 2, 2.75, which is a little looser than what it calls for, but with the 2.75 I can do 64 count stitch and it fits me perfectly. Next thing I have is, my brother and I had this conversation. Here in Texas, knitting sweaters, you just don't get to wear them very much. I do have a sweater in the works, my Christmas sweater, but I know I'm not really going to get to wear it very often. So what I decided to do was try something a little bit new for me. Vests are very much in this year. He didn't know that they had ever been out, and for guys they really haven't been. But for girls they kind of come and go. But I decided to make the White Mountain Light by Midori Hirose. Yeah, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It is actually a sweater pattern, but one of her testers did it as a vest, and so she has in the pattern how to turn it into a vest. So oh, if you were curious, this last bag is just one of my bags that I made, little snap closure, and it's just one that I had made myself with the dodgy bag along. This one though is a button and boo bag. Fun Halloween with all the Halloween gnomes. And I really do love her bags. If I'm going to purchase a bag out there, I really do like button and boos. Now you can go over, oh well, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so I am using, where did I put it? This is Cascade Yarns Cantata. It is 70% cotton, 30% superwash merino wool. It's a blown yarn. You can see that in there. You have your cotton center, and then the wool is on the outside. This is in their color black, which is color number 4. It is a DK because to 100 grams you get 218 yards. And it's hand wash, and it is so soft. And I really love how this is working up. I haven't been able to put it down actually. if I can show this to you. All right, so I've done the neckline, and I'm very proud of myself. I always learn something new whenever I am doing one of Midori Hiroshi's patterns. She really does put the information out there and has all those extra videos in there that show you how to do it. And look at this. Can you tell? I did German short rows. Or at least I did short rows. And that's the first time for me. So I get my, there we go. I'm very proud of how this neckline turned out. It's got some beautiful detailing on how it goes down the sides. And so I'm already split for the sleeves. I tried it on last night. It's a really well made fit. I am doing it, she has a couple of options in there for smaller or larger busts, as far as if you wanted it more close knit to your body, or if you wanted it kind of like some of her other sweaters, to where it's boxy and big. And so I'm doing this a little closer knit, but I'm doing this in size large, I think. Sorry. I thought I had all this stuff together last night. I take it back. I did the extra large neck, and I'm doing the medium large body. And she's got instructions in there on how to mix them up. But under the arm, just because I wanted to make sure I had plenty of space to be able to put this, either wear it on its own or put it over something, I did the cast on number of stitches for the extra large. So that way the armhole is more of an extra large, but the body itself will be more of a medium large, if that makes sense. And I've got all my extra cords and everything in here right now since I tried it on last night. But I just love the way that this, if I get, yeah, how the yarn looks. And that's pretty true to it. It's a dark gray, even though they call it black. And every once in a while, you know, you have the little lines that come through here. That's not changing from one yarn to another. That's just the way the white comes through, and there may not be as much black blown around that part, but it just shifts through, and I'm loving it. And I can't wait to be able to actually wear it. Okay. Let's keep moving along. How are we doing on time? I'm almost up to 20 minutes already. Okay, I need to keep moving. Next, what I did was I have a crocheted piece here. I didn't cast it on. I hooked it on. The Sevens Shrug. That's S-E-V-E-N-S, Sevens Shrug by Clare Wilson. This is a free pattern. And right now it just looks like a rectangle. But what I did was I took the extra that I had left over, the rest of the skein from my Summer Secret crop, and I had a skein. Of course, I'm not finding it. I had another skein of another linen, cotton, and silk that was just a dark blue. It was more of a solid. I'll give you a little bit of a look there. You can see it more through here. But I added those two together and crocheted down through here. And then it's going over this last little bit. If I can get that, yeah. It has the darker blue added through here, And then this last little bit is just the same yarn from my Secret Summer crop. And what will happen here is it needs to be blocked, and then it's ready for me to sew it together and add a little bit of a sleeve detail to it. And it will be a shrug to kind of go over the edges that I wanted to be able to wear with my Secret Summer crop. There we go. Now some of this color will bleach out of it, because whenever I washed my tank top here, it bled big time. I was so glad, I was very careful with it. I had the color catchers and everything, and I did it on its own. And I had to do that for a couple of washes. Even the second time I washed it, it still bled out quite a bit, but the color is still there. It just had a lot of extra on it. So this one will be finished next time, but I wanted to be able to just, put a little something over my shoulders. But continuing in the works, I'm working on the vanilla socks for Sam. And these, yeah, I do have them on. These I'm working on to go along with the Strictly Sock Along that's being done with Little Drops of Wonderful with Allie. Don't these look like tuxedo socks? So I have my ballroom here. I have my Texas ballroom here. And I have the first sock done, and I'm ready to put the heel on. These are 64 stitch count, and ooh, bear with me a second. Drop stitches, drop stitches. I'm being too rough with it, I guess. Okay. These again are 64 count, cast iron 64 count, 2.75 US 2, and I am ready to put the heel in. Again, I'm just doing the slip stitch. Sam and I have found that other heels, we haven't had enough room. My glasses back on so I can see you guys. Oh, there you are. We haven't had enough room in our socks whenever it comes to the arch. Or not the arch, going into the ankle. Menopause brain's going on right now, so I can't think of what it's called, but we haven't had enough through there. So I decided to go back to the heel flap and gusset. I used to hate doing it because it would leave gaping holes, and it was whenever I was first starting out about 3 years ago. So yeah, this side is not all that pretty, but it's not that bad. This side looks really nice. I like that side. But before, it seemed like it was so difficult to do, and it's one of those things, going back again a few years later, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is easy. Again with the umbrella toe from KF Jones. And what did I use for yarn? I don't have it there. Hold on. Oh boy. I apologize. Need something to drink? Maybe they'll put the commercial in right here. I have less than 200 subscribers so far, so if you have not subscribed, please do. It really does help in a couple of ways. It helps me grow my channel. It tells YouTube that I've got people watching, and it also makes it to where eventually I will get to the 1,000 subscriber mark, hopefully. And at that point, I have some control over those pesky commercials. Right now, I have absolutely no control. I get nothing back from it. So if commercials are coming up on yours, please just click through them as fast as you can. Please don't go away. Just click through them and keep going. I appreciate you being there. And then someday we'll get to that 1,000 mark, hopefully, and I will be able to put them like at the beginning and the end only type thing, and not all the way through. So what was I doing? Oh, now I remember what I was doing. Let me just bring this over here. The striped yarn here. Yeah, there we go. See if you can see it. There we go. This is Wisdom Yarns Saki Silk, and it is nice in the color gray. And then for the accent, I'm just using Cascade Yarns Heritage Sock, and this is just their gray, and it's just a light gray that I added in there that I already had on hand. I had someone mention to me the other day that I was doing much better with these, and each one looked a little bit more professional, and so I think they're going to be taking that back after today. Oh man, I can't seem to get my act together today. So, we are already over 20 minutes, over 25 by the time I cut a little bit of this out probably, and we're going to keep foraging on. The litmus cow that was my Christmas in July project. I did do a little bit more on it. I'm actually starting to get a little ways through. All the information on this is down below. The yarns for the minis, they are Charming You, and this was her Halloween, which I've switched over from Christmas in July to Halloween basically here. This was her Halloween colorway last year. And then for the accent color is a Cascade Heritage Sock. And this is a medium gray. I still have a lot, and my plan for this is I've spoken about this before, so I'll just do it quickly. I cast on wider stitches because I want to be able to use this as a wrap. It will not be as long as the Litmus Cow calls for, and this is a free pattern. It is by Amy Florence Edwards Green, and it's a free pattern. But I believe she has you cast on around 100 stitches, I think. And I cast on 150, something like that, so that it would be wider. And I did this with my last one, and it became what I wore more than anything else as far as items that I made last winter. It's a perfect, I mean, I was even wearing it at work at times because I could throw it over my shoulders and pull it back off quickly. And it was perfect for me. Okay. This bag that it's housed in is one of my bags that I made for the Dodgy Bag Along. The last bag that I had the socks in, I'll talk about it in a little bit because it's part of my DFW Fiber Fest haul. So we'll come back to it. This one here is the Antique Flora Sweater. This is my Christmas jumper Mal entry with Allie at Little Drops of Wonderful. And my goal for the month of September was to finish the body. And I did. So this is ready for my next step, which is to start the sleeves. Now it does have color work that goes down to the sleeves all the way to the elbow. And I had thought about making it short sleeve, but I think I'm going to go ahead and make it long sleeve, because as warm as this is, if it's cool enough for me to wear it, it's going to be cool enough that I'll want long sleeves. It won't get a lot of wear out of it unless I'm wearing it I may just wear it over top when I'm outside. It'll get more wear that way. Another one of my dodgy bags. This is my Paris one. And what I am knitting this with, I have all sorts. I use this as a purse basically when I'm going to and from work. So I have a bunch of junk in here too. Okay, so the Antique Flora Sweaters by Wool and Pine. It is a paid for pattern, and this is my first color work that I've ever done. I figured I was going to do something a little simpler, and it's just like, you know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it. And I'm happy with it so far. I'm even happy with my floats so far. It fits me well. It's a little bit bigger than I would have wanted probably, but I'd rather it be too big than too little. There's my floats. Nothing like being happy about your floats, huh? All right, so confessions. The month of September was the DFW Fiber Festival. I will have a link down below of the video I took of it. I went around to all the booths. There were times whenever my video cut out or I thought I was turning the camera on, I was busy talking, and I was actually turning the camera off. So the first row, I may have missed some of the booths, and I do apologize. There were 109 vendors. So the video, I think, ended up being about 45 minutes long. And if I sound, I'm not bored with my talking over it, but I may sound a bit tired because that was a lot of editing, and it was a big fight with me and my editing software getting it uploaded. And that was because I had just so many pieces to pull together. So go over there if you want to be able to peruse through all of the goodness. And I'm going to show you what I brought home with me. I forgot my coffee cup downstairs, but it is also, ta-da, an Erin Lane. I got an Erin Lane coffee cup and a new Erin Lane bag. I love this size. Hooks onto your belt buckle or your belt so that you can just take it along. And I actually was carrying all of my stitch markers I was giving away, as well as my card and my camera stuff and everything. I was carrying in my Halloween one from last year, which is not up here at the moment. So as soon as I walked into their booth, they're like, "Oh, we see Erin Lane in the wild." So I needed another Erin Lane bag. They're very simple, but I love her design. She has her little sheeps all over, and it's well made, well thought out, and I do love it. Something else that was fun, I'll put a picture here of me with the Yellow Rose sheep mascot, But the Yellow Rose on the Coast is a fiber festival that's going on in February next year at Port Aransas, and then in Seguin, Texas in April. And they were going around just telling everybody about, and their Fiber Fiesta and their On the Coast Fiber Festival. And if at all possible, I would love to get a chance to go to these. Just go on a little trip down to the beach, love Port Aransas, and get to go to a fiber festival. So anybody down in that area, you might want to try giving it a hit. Now into the yarn. One of the booths that I had already decided I wanted to go look around in before, excuse me, my nose is itching, before we even went, was Yarn for the Masses. This is hand-dyed acrylic yarn. These are in DK weight. She had pretty much sold out for sock weight by Sunday whenever I got there, but this was fine for me. And I got 3. One is Grumpy Sunshine. And then I got these 2 as a contrast. I wanted to turn this maybe into a shawl or a vest or something. And these are Stormy Skies. And they hadn't come out just right, so I was able to get these at a discount. So that I was able to get all this together. And she is, this is just, I love the idea of hand-dyed acrylic, just for something whenever you're doing gift knits and stuff like that, because let's face it, not everybody's going to treat the items that we made quite like we would after all the work we went into it. But at the same time, we want them to wear them, we want them to use them, we want them to wear them out. But that's another conversation. I'm trying not to be too loud, but I have these in a paper bag. Okay, so next, in Charming You, in her Lush sock, I have Beetlejuice. And I just love that. Let's move through this a little bit faster. Okay. All right, y'all all know I'm addicted to Hank Me Home. Gloria sells these out of On the Lamb. You can actually get them online through On the Lamb. But she had some new colors. We've got Posers. Goes gray down to purple. This is in the Pinch DK. Then I also, in her Sparkle sock, I got Jack. I'm sure you guys can guess where that comes from. And then I have the Boogie Boys. Both of these are in the Sparkle sock. Give you all those colors there. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to use the together to a degree to make another one of these. So I have plans. Okay. Then I have Bashful Armadillo. And what did I do? What did I do? Okay. I have a stitch marker she gave me. Aha! In front of me. Bashful Armadillo, and this is the Paladura Canyon. She's a Texas dyer, and this is one of the Texas attractions. She does also Texas wildflowers, and I got her Fort Worth one last year that was a show opener. There's my little armadillo. Let's see if we can get him in there. There we go. And she just has such beautiful, vibrant. Now, you would not think that a canyon would have all these colors, but it really does, especially whenever the sun's hitting it. And she has online her inspiration picture. If you're not familiar with the Palo Duro Canyon, you've probably seen it. You just didn't know you saw it, because the Indiana Jones movie, was it the third one, I think, that had Sean Connery in it as his dad? Whenever they go through the canyons up to the temple, the temple's not in the Palo Duro Canyon, but the rest of it was filmed riding their horses through the Palo Duro Canyon. So you've actually seen it. It's at the top of Texas. Okay. Then, Geektastic Fibers. They were there. And I got one of their orphan stripy sock yarns. And this one is called I Smell Children. And I have really wanted to cast this on, but I'm trying to get at least one of my other 2 socks done before I do. So I'm holding out. So this is my next cast on for Halloween socks. And something that they did was, instead of having regular armbands and everything, they actually had, I was told they were like, I guess there's something to do with Taylor Swift. I don't know. I don't really follow her. That's me for getting through the month of September. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with the month of October. It'll probably be towards the end of the month though, because I have to have a couple of teeth removed, and I don't think I'm going to be talking much during that time. During October, I will have an out and about. I'm going to be going to the Texas State Fair, and I've already done some video of my experience this year entering a crocheted shawl. I'm excited about it, and going up and seeing all the creative art items and recording that for you. I did have a couple of out and abouts this last month. Go take a look. If you're new here, please, thank you for sticking around. And there's lots of content on the channel, even though it's only 6 months old, between Christmas and July videos and yarn crawl for the North Texas area. There's quite a bit of different goodness there having to do with fiber, yarn, crafting, all of that. Thank you again for joining me for this time, and I will see you next time. Happy autumn where you are. Happy Hotum if you're in Texas. Bye.